Miracles. Those extraordinary events that just seem to defy all natural explanation. In the Christian faith, they're not just seen as strange occurrences, they're considered powerful, direct demonstrations of divine intervention. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the absolutely crucial role miracles play in Christianity, from ancient scriptures all the way to the modern world.
Okay, so let's just dive right in with a really fundamental question. I think we all have a sense of what feels miraculous, right? A lucky break, an incredible recovery. But in a theological sense, what actually makes an event a miracle? What's the line that separates it from just being a one-in-a-million coincidence?
And here's the key distinction, at least according to Christian theology. A miracle isn't just an event that works within the laws of nature. It's something that goes beyond them entirely. It's a moment where the supernatural is believed to have stepped in and directly intervened in our natural world. And that intervention is attributed to God.
Now, to really get a grip on their significance, we've got to go to the source material, the Bible. And you'll find that miracles are woven into the very fabric of the biblical story. They act as these powerful signs of God's presence and power from the Old Testament right on through the New. What's so interesting is that you can see a real shift in purpose. Back in the Old Testament, a miracle like the parting of the Red Sea was all about confirming the authority of a leader like Moses. It was proof that his message was truly from God. But when we get to the New Testament, the purpose becomes much more personal. The miracles are all about revealing who Jesus is. And Jesus's miracles, they were the absolute heart of his ministry. These weren't just random acts of power. I mean, look at the range here. From healing sick individuals and feeding huge crowds to literally controlling the weather and even raising the dead. All of it was meant to show both his deep compassion and his unique divine authority. But among all of those incredible acts, there's one that stands completely apart. It's considered not just the greatest miracle Jesus ever performed, but the single most important event in the entire Christian faith. And that is, of course, the resurrection. So here's the bottom line. For Christians, the belief that Jesus rose from the dead, well, it's everything. It's the ultimate miracle that seemed to validate all of his claims, and it serves as the absolute foundation for the faith itself. And this quote just illustrates the whole point perfectly. You'll notice the Gospel of John often calls miracles signs. That's because they're not just supposed to be spectacles. They're designed to point to a deeper reality. Just like the verse says, they were written down for a very specific reason, to inspire belief that Jesus is who he claimed to be. Okay, so if miracles are signs pointing to something bigger, what's their overall purpose? I mean, beyond just proving a point, what theological job do they actually do for a believer? It really boils down to these 4 key things. First, miracles are meant to reveal God's character, that he's both loving and powerful. Second, they confirm the message of figures like Jesus. Third, they're there to strengthen the faith of people who witness them. And fourth, and this one's so important, they show a God who is compassionate and wants to heal and restore. And this brings us to this fascinating kind of circular relationship. On one hand, yes, seeing a miracle can absolutely create faith. But the New Testament also suggests that sometimes faith is required before a miracle can even happen. It's this really dynamic interplay between belief and divine action.
Okay, so that's the theology. But how does any of this translate to the 21st century? Because let's be honest, the idea of miracles today brings up some really complex questions about science, personal experience, and of course, the tough reality of suffering.
Make no mistake, belief in modern miracles is very much alive and well. It's a huge part of Pentecostal and charismatic movements, which really emphasize things like divine healing. You also see it, in a more theological sense, in things like the sacraments. And maybe most commonly, you hear it in countless personal stories of answered prayer or life-changing conversion experiences. And this, of course, leads us to one of the most profound and, frankly, difficult questions in all of theology. If miracles do happen, why don't they happen for everyone who prays for one? The existence of both miracles and suffering side by side, it creates this deep mystery that faith really has to wrestle with. And then there's the whole relationship with science. From one point of view, miracles are just impossible because they violate the physical laws of the universe as we understand them. But from another perspective, there's no conflict at all. In this view, God, as the creator of those natural laws, is more than capable of acting outside of or beyond them when he chooses. So where does that leave us? Well, regardless of your personal belief system, the very idea of the miraculous forces us to confront the limits of our own understanding. It pushes us to ask a much broader question. What is the role of awe and wonder in our lives? And how do we respond to those experiences that we just can't explain?